You have a question? Well, I have an answer. But make it quick, because this just arrived in the mail. When was the angriest you have ever been at a movie or video game, and why? Let me regale you with the story of a movie. A movie that I did not see in the theater. I watched on cable. But this movie holds the distinction as being the only film that pissed me off to the point where I shut the damn thing off before the movie was done. It's probably only like 90 minutes long. I speak, of course, of Babe. Yes, Babe, the talking pig film from 1995. Let me set the scene. As I mentioned, I watched it on cable, so this was after the Academy Awards. So the movie was nominated for several Oscars, including Best Picture. It didn't win Best Picture. I think Braveheart was that year. But it did pick up the Oscar for visual effects, beating out Apollo 13. So, needless to say, even for a talking farmyard animal movie, expectations were somewhat elevated. So I sat down to watch this movie with the foreknowledge that it had beat Apollo 13 in visual effects, and it had been nominated for a Best Picture Oscar and a bunch of other Oscars. The first thing I will say is like Jurassic Park 2 years before. The movie uses a combination of animatronic and CG to achieve its talking animal effects. They're horrible. They're terrible. They suck. I don't think I'm quite communicating how bad, how genuinely, legitimately terrible these visual effects. They're horrible. You probably don't believe me unless you've seen it. Even by 1995 standards, they're terrible. I don't know who the hell nominated this for a visual effect. It won a visual effects Oscar. It beat Apollo 13. Mortal Kombat had better CG effects than this movie. Television commercials at the time had better visual effects than this movie. The Richest Cat in the World, a television special from the mid-'80s, had better visual effects than this movie. It's about a talking cat. You know how they did the effect? They slathered peanut butter on the roof of the cat's mouth and dubbed over it while it was going. That was more convincing than the animatronic and CG effects in Babe. I hope that somehow conveys how utterly abysmal the visual effects in this film. They are phenomenally bad. I just don't understand how that film was even remotely considered for a visual effects award. They are inarguably, objectively bad effects. Bad effects. But that's not what pissed me off. Babe is about Farmer Bob, played by James Cromwell. Farmer Bob has a sheep farm, and he herds sheep on his sheep farm. And he's been having some trouble with sheep rustlers. People, stealing his sheep. We don't know what for, and we don't ask. But Farmer Bob gets a pig to herd his sheep. He already has I don't remember this. It's been 20 years since I've seen the film. So, the Babe the pig becomes a sheepdog and starts herding the sheep because whimsical children's film. One day, one of the sheep is killed by a dog. I don't remember if this is one of the sheep herders' dogs. I'm sorry, sheep rustlers' dogs, or if this was like some coyote or wild feral dog that just happened to be running around. But needless to say, a dog gets into the flock, takes down a sheep, and it's like the matriarch sheep. And Babe is like, "No, Mama Sheep, no!" And Mama Sheep is laying there, spurt, spurt, spurt. And Babe is like, "No, Mama." She get it? Actually, if I'm remembering correctly, I think the character's name was Ma. So Babe is like nuzzling her neck and gets blood on his snout, and she goes, and she croaks. And Farmer Bob comes up, and he sees the sheep with her neck torn out, and he sees this little toothless pig with blood on its snout standing next to her. And he thinks, my God, that little pig just ripped the throat out of my sheep. The hell, man? It doesn't occur to you that it might have been the damn sheep rustlers that we already established? They're not gentle with the sheep, they have dogs, and even if it was just a wild pack of dogs, and I honestly can't remember, it seems to me that it would be a logical conclusion like, well, damn sheep rustlers killed one of my sheep. Instead of, oh, small toothless pig just ripped the throat out of one of my lambs. But that's not the best part. No. Farmer Bob looks at little Babe. Look what you've done, little Babe. Listen up, barnyard animals. I only got one rule on this farm. And that rule is thou shalt not kill. Damn right. So he takes the little pig Babe, stakes him to the ground in the barn, levels a double-barrel shotgun at his face. And that's where I shut the movie off. Oh, and I shut it off hard, too. Yeah, I hit the off button on the cable box with a force. Of course, I may have overreacted.